Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video on my channel. As always, I'm Jay, and today I have to do it. I'm giving my review of Deadpool, starring Ryan Reynolds and Monica Baccarin against a whole bunch of other people that I don't have time to mention or remember. I saw it 3 times already, so I feel almost obligated to talk about it, clearly. And I gotta be honest, the film was overhyped as hell. But it's still a great film and so awesome. I mean, my feelings going into the film was that we were getting so much of it shoved down our throats, and I just could not stand seeing the same footage over and over again. Don't get me wrong, the film, like I just said, was great, but let's be honest, it was pushed so far. However, when they started mixing it up and opening the marketing wide, Ryan Reynolds is a comedic genius. I love seeing all the viral videos that they had out with him doing different things, whether it was the cancer screenings or even the Australia Day viral video.
I mean, seriously, I'd fit right in with your proud nation, with its shady criminal past and its predilection for blackout drinking and unrelenting condescension toward New Zealand. Only one teeny problem. You gave us Wolverine. And for that, I can't forgive you.
Honestly, Ryan Reynolds was made to play Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool, notwithstanding with his previous iteration in X-Men Origins, which even he and the writers of this film love taking shots at. Honestly, this was a great character that he portrayed. There was really a lot of heart, despite the fact that this film wasn't taking itself too seriously. It was making a lot of corny jokes. It was raunchy. The action was over the top awesome. However, if you've seen the trailers, you pretty much know what you're in store for. Some crude humor, a few great action sequences, but what you didn't expect, and what I didn't expect, was the fact that there's a lot more depth, not just surface stuff. Sure, the action and the sheen of the film looks amazing, but there's little things and nuances in the film itself that really bring up the quality of it. Now, without spoiling anything, we pretty much know that Ryan Reynolds plays an ex-mercenary, Wade Wilson, who basically gets cancer and has to leave the woman he loves to undergo this treatment that's supposed to help cure it. Now, what he didn't expect was the fact that he was being subjected to a super slave program, which basically they experiment on people who are basically close to their deathbeds in the pursuit of making them into powerful, deadly mutants. Now, the film's plot isn't exactly hard to follow. It's not that complex. It's very straightforward. It's a revenge tale, but some slight romance, and there's just so many off-the-hand comments and things that are said in this film that are just so wacky, so unbelievable that it's just awesome. Do not bring your kids to this film. There is no point for them to come to this film. They will be scarred for life because of all the things that are being put on the screen. You will have to prematurely answer not only the bird and the bees questions, but stuff about crazy sexual shit. Go with your significant other. Go if you have a girlfriend or whatever. Do not bring any kids to this film. Don't bring them. Now, like I said, the action was top-notch, and the addition of Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead, who I've never heard of before, just added some more cool, legitimate humor to the film itself. The film sets itself apart from the X-Men franchise while still maintaining a small, steep connection through jokes and the characters that he likes to mention. Decapitations, cursing, nudity, strip clubs, drinking, killing, completely balls-to-the-wall action film. I highly recommend it. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. It's a great film, and it's kind of what we needed for a refresher in this day and age where there's so many comic book films and the genre is becoming more and more saturated in the market. Now, don't get me wrong, there have been previous iterations of different films that were rated R and successful. Most notably, in my opinion, were the Blade films. Blade was really the first true comic book success story in films, and it was rated R. So the fact that people were arguing about how if it was rated R, it wasn't going to get much buzz or an audience, that's totally not true. I didn't buy it for 1 second. My only complaints with the film is that we didn't see a lot of things, he didn't do a lot, and the way it was edited and told for an origin story was perfect. However, it did get a little too ADHD-ish, or it did bounce back and forth a little too much without really preparing the audience. I could see this becoming a problem in later iterations. However, for the film, it did work. They just dwelled a little too much on his origin story while they were trying to do certain things, but by the time it had gotten annoying, it was already moving on to the next awesome part of the film. And can I just say, the soundtrack was awesome. I don't know what it is, but after Guardians of the Galaxy, all these comic book films are starting to employ more and more classic old songs. And I just love it. I love seeing these songs being put into a different context, kind of flipping them on their head, being put in these outrageous situations, especially in this movie, where characters are getting decapitated, knives through the heads, getting cut in half, or anything like that. And I just have one word for this. Wham! The film isn't long. It's about an hour and 45 minutes, which is well worth the time. The film is definitely worth your money. I highly recommend going to check it out. Definitely stick till the end of the credits. It's not the greatest end credit sequence, but it is longer than some of the ones that we've gotten in some of the official Marvel Studio releases. It's an ode to an old 80s film. So guys, like I said before, Deadpool was a great movie. Definitely worth the watch. Definitely worth the full price of admission at your local theater. If you get a chance to see it in IMAX, go for it if you don't mind spending the extra money. You don't need to, but it does heighten the experience somewhat. And for the love of God, do not bring your kids to this film. But anyway, guys, thanks for joining me on this review. Keep your eyes peeled for more content on my channel. I'm going to try and step it up a little bit. Just wait. Alright, guys, take care. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. All feedback is welcome, even the negative feedback. And I'll see you next time. Bye. I love all the meta humor. I love all the commentary that it makes on other superhero films, including the fact that a lot of superheroes are goody two-shoes. I mean, even the X-Men films are fair game in this. What more could you ask for? One of the major things going into the movie was the fact that it was going to be rated R and whether it was going to be very successful or not. Now, when I hear this talk about this stuff, and even when I was hearing it initially, I thought to myself, one of the first successful comic book movies was actually Blade, and that was rated R. Way before X-Men, way before any of the Spider-Mans, Blade was literally the first successful superhero movie. It needed to be made in a rated R format. Now, as far as the other characters in the film, we do get Colossus, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, we do get Vanessa, who is Deadpool's love interest. We have Angel Dust, played by Gina Carano. Oh, God, she's hot. And we have Ed Skrein, who plays Ajax, aka Francis. As a first-time, all in all, the main villain of the film was totally worth it. It was the first movie, as the first film in a franchise, as the first film in what will be a franchise. For a franchise in the making such as Deadpool, did work, but he was kind of weak at points, and the hand-to-hand combat didn't really feel like it was really hitting too much. I mean, you got two guys who can kind of either feel no pain or heal, so it was still cool for what it was, but at the same time, first film in a franchise, you know they're not going to kill off the main character. But Ajax was a pretty good villain. I mean, he screwed up Wade Wilson's life. How much more do you need for motivation for him to be such a freaking dickhead?